Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm very happy to have you here, guys. So in today's video I want to share with you some Middle Eastern fragrances that do not smell Middle Eastern. This video was a requested video, so thank you so much for the person who requested it, and thank you for the patience. I know it took me a bit longer to film it, to post it than I thought it would. So basically, guys, in today's video I have I think more than 20 fragrances that are done by Middle Eastern brands, but they do not have a Middle Eastern DNA. Now, I feel like a misconception when it comes to Middle Eastern fragrances is, first of all, that they all have oud, which is not the case. There are a lot of fragrances that don't have oud. You can have oud in the name, but not any trace of oud in the notes breakdown and in how the fragrance actually smells like. So yes, I will mention it now because I don't want to repeat myself like a broken record, but all these fragrances do not have any Middle Eastern vibe to them. They're all pretty much your Western style of fragrances. Some are heavier, some are lighter. I have some gourmands, I have some florals, I have some original creations, I have some, let's just say, clones or inspirations. So yes, we have a little bit of everything. So yes, guys, let's start with some gourmand fragrances because outside is very gloomy and moody and I want to like bring out bring up my mood a little bit. Let's start with some fragrances made around chocolate. So yes, guys, the first one I want to start with is a gourmand fragrance. It's a true gourmand fragrance. It smells edible, it smells legit like you could eat it, you know. This one is called Choco Mask by Al Rihab. I have the oil version here and I would advise you, if you're interested in it, get the oil version. I feel like it's overall better than their fragrance, like alcohol-based fragrances. Now this one I love to use it on its own, but I mainly use it for layering purposes. This will add a beautiful gourmand aspect or like a beautiful gourmand touch to any fragrance that you have. It will just bring out the sweetness overall. Now this on its own, it's supposed to be a dupe for Chocolate Greedy by Montal, which now I have a sample of that one, and let me tell you guys, I feel like this one is even more gourmand leaning than that one. It's even more sweeter, more edible like. That one overall has some like darker nuances as well about it. So yes, my first recommendation, Choco Mask by Al Rihab. Amazing oil, guys, amazing oil, and I know a lot of you bought it based on my recommendations and you love, at least you told me that you love to use this one to layer with your other fragrances to bring out the gourmand aspect in it. Speaking of delicious chocolate based fragrances, I want to show you another fragrance that I would highly recommend you to check this one out if you enjoy the DNA of Tresor la Nuit. Now this one is by Afnan and it is called Modeste D'Eau. This is the version for women, and this one pretty much to my nose smells like delicious dark chocolate with cherries, some syrupy fruits in the background, but like darker sort of fruits, and a little bit of vanilla. This is very beautiful. It has a patchouli that, let me just tell you, when I first got this one, the patchouli aspect was very pronounced. It was overpowering the cherry aspect, it was overpowering the dark chocolatey aspect, but actually I discovered that this one performs amazing in the heat, and in the heat it's when I feel like those gourmand notes shine the most. Now if you are interested in this fragrance and you are a little bit afraid of the patchouli, get the oil from Al Rihab and layer these two together, and I'm telling you guys, these two together, they smell like delicious, like yummy delicious. Like I don't have words to tell you how good these two smell together. Ultra feminine but dark at the same time. I kept saying in all my videos where I mentioned this fragrance that this is pretty much the darker, more elegant, more serious, seductive leaning version of Tresor la Nuit. So if you like Tresor la Nuit, or if you like the DNA of Tresor la Nuit, I really think you will enjoy this fragrance. Now, speaking of Tresor la Nuit, guys, I have another recommendation for you. Again, that fragrance is like completely used up, so I don't have the bottle with me anymore. That fragrance is by the brand Art El Zafaran, and that one is called Jazab Gold. Now, if Modeste D'Eau was like the darker, more mysterious, more sensual, seductive version of Tresor la Nuit, this one is the lighter version. This one is the brighter version, heavier on fruits with no patchouli, or at least only just a hint of it, guys, but it's not the kind of patchouli that's bothering to people in general. That one could be like your day-to-day fragrance. You could dress it up, you could dress it down. Overall, I feel like it's very like girly and playful and delicious as well. Okay, so the previous two fragrances, I would recommend you to get them if you're looking for something like Tresor la Nuit. Now, if you're looking for something that's more gourmand leaning, but this time is made around strawberry, this one to my knowledge doesn't dupe anything, at least nothing that I have came across. but it's a gorgeous fragrance on its own, guys. This next one is called Yara by Latafa. It's again a very affordable fragrance. I feel like most of the fragrances that I will show you today are very like budget friendly, affordable fragrances, but still, guys, just because they're affordable, I don't know if I would necessarily advise you to blind buy them just based on my recommendations. I mean, I like what I like in a fragrance, but your taste might be different to mine. So as always, please do your own research, get a sample if you can, smell them in stores if you have stores that sell this sort of fragrances near you, or I don't know, get a decant, I don't know, but like please do your research, okay? Because the thing is, even with affordable fragrances, if you get 10-15 blind buys of affordable fragrances and you only like 2 or 3, with the money that you spent on all the other ones that you don't like, you could have gotten like a smaller, let's just say like a 30 ml version of a fragrance that you know you like, okay? So yeah, this is just my piece of advice in general. Try to be very mindful when it comes to purchases. But yes, back to Yara. Guys, this one is such a delicious fragrance. This is very different to all the fragrances that I have in my collection. Now guys, this smells like strawberry cake frosting with a creamy lotiony undertone. I also detect a little bit of tuberose, some like ultra sweet citruses, but they're in the background. In the front you have the strawberry and the creaminess of the fragrance, the lotion-like feel. And I also detect a little bit of tuberose, maybe it's just to my nose, I don't know. And then as you are wearing this one, I would say you also start to get some like soft shower gel shampoo like nuances. This is a very beautiful fragrance. This is playful, this is young, this is fun. I feel like this is the opposite of a serious fragrance, guys. If you want a fragrance that just like embodies, I don't know, like a happy mood, I feel like this is the one, like Yara is the one. It's a very like youthful sort of smell. You could get this one as a gift or for someone who's like 14-year-old, and you could get it for yourself, you could get it even for your mother. I feel like this is such an easy to enjoy sort of fragrance. I mean, unless you really dislike fragrances with a very youthful aura to them, I don't think you will have problems with Yara. And especially I would recommend you to get this one if you like strawberry in your fragrances, and if you like this sort of fragrances that give like a creamy lotiony aspect. You will really enjoy this one then. Okay, so let's move on to the next ones. These next fragrances, I would recommend them to you if you're looking for something similar to Roses Vanille by Mancera, or if you're looking for something similar to Intense Cafe by Montal. I have 4 recommendations for you, but I will start with the one that I don't have the bottle of it anymore because I've used it up completely. That one again is by Ardel Zafran. That one is called Tifel Hub. That one is a beautiful inspiration of Roses Vanille, but keep in mind it's much more softer, much more muted. But that one is pretty much a bright pink rose with some sugary vibes in the background and a beautiful rich vanilla and some musky nuances as well. Let's say that maybe you are looking for something to use as a body spray. That one is again very affordable, so it's not like you will break the bank for it, you know. But keep in mind the performance for it is not there. Okay, so another one, guys, that is very similar to Roses Vanille, but this time I feel like it performs slightly better. This one is called Extreme Rose by Louis Verrel. Yeah, you have the same bright pink rose, the same sugariness, the same vanilla, the same musky undertone. It's very beautiful as well. It does perform a little bit better from what I have noticed. But again, this is nothing like Roses Vanille in terms of performance. So still, if you have the budget, go for Roses Vanille. But if you, let's just say, maybe you're on a tighter budget, this one is an amazing option as well. Now guys, when it comes to fragrances similar to Intense Cafe, I have 2 recommendations for you. Let me start with the one that I have a full bottle of, but it's currently almost empty. This one, to me at least, smells like you were to take a red rose and you would dip it in honey and you would have a cafe latte vibe in the background. It's very rich, it's very sweet, it's very gourmand leaning. It's again a very delicious fragrance, ultra feminine. So the last fragrance within the same scent family is called Mocha Wood. This was highly requested for me to try and share my thoughts about it. I will definitely do a video about it in the future, but guys, honestly, it smells amazing. I have to say, it smells absolutely amazing. It's, yeah, I would say, guys, this is a mix between Roses Vanille and Intense Cafe. It's a gorgeous fragrance. If you find it at a great price and you're looking for something within the same scent family, why not check this one out? Again, on the performance, I cannot comment much, but I think it performs decently from what I have noticed, but you will have to overspray this one and reapply it throughout the day. But again, I think for the price, this shouldn't be an issue. Like, it's a very affordable fragrance to begin with, you know. Okay, so let's move on to some delicious fruity fragrances. Now, all these fragrances that I'm about to show you are all inspirations of Erba Pura and Kirke. Basically, they are all within the same scent family, but still, I would say each one follows a slightly different direction, I would say, but pretty much All these are sweet yellow tropical fruits with musk. If you are looking for something within the same scent family as Erba Pura or Kirke, I have to say my favorite one is Jasmine Wisp. Definitely check it out if you haven't tried this one yet. It's my favorite. It's the richest, fullest, the most dense and the most robust out of all these fragrances. To me, this smells like creamy yellow tropical fruits with a little bit of strawberry and a rich vanilla ambery base. Now I have another recommendation for you, which is called Little Hearts by Ahmed El Maghribi, which is an amazing brand in general, but I would actually advise you to get their body gel, body cream, body gel. It's called body gel. This is in the scent Little Hearts. Even let's say maybe you have Jasmine Wisp, or maybe you have Anabied White, maybe you have Arish Belatafa, maybe you have Al Haramain Amber Oud Gold Edition, maybe you have Afnan Desert Rose. Yeah, basically all these fragrances are in the same scent family, none have a Middle Eastern vibe, but maybe you have some of these and you are looking for a body product to layer with those. Get this one, it's amazing, the scent lasts very well. A little bit of this goes such a long way. I feel like because it has a silicone texture to it, you don't need to apply a lot, so this one would actually last you quite a while. Now Little Hearts, I would say it also has like a creamy sandalwood, some creamy vanilla and some crisp but soft red fruity accords, besides the yellow tropical fruity nuances, but it's just as beautiful. I would say my favorite ones from all these ones that smell the same: Jasmine Wisp, after that Little Hearts, after that Al Haramain Amber Oud Gold Edition. That one is an amazing fragrance as well. That one I would recommend you to get it if you're looking for a fragrance that's very strong. If you're looking for a beast mode sort of fragrance within the same scent family, that one I feel like is the one you will love the most. Okay, so let's move on to these next fragrances. I have here for you two recommendations if you're looking for something similar to fragrances from Chanel. Now, if you're looking for something similar to Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel, but you don't mind a dash of La Vie Belle by Lancôme, then I would advise you to look up All You Need Is Love by Armaf, the black version, this bottle over here. Yeah, guys, it will give you a very similar feel. Basically, I feel like in the opening it smells more like Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel, which is that like slightly citrusy, slightly woody, patchouli-esque fragrance with some floral accords, a little bit of sweetness. But I would say this one is not only much sweeter, but also much more easy to enjoy. It's not as serious, you know, it's not as like, yeah, serious as Coco Mademoiselle. It's a bit more fun, you know, it's a bit more easygoing, it's a bit more easier to enjoy in general. So yes, that's the first recommendation. Okay, so the next one is called Toulouse by Junaid Perfumes. This one I would advise you to look it up if you want something similar to Chanel Chance Eau Tandre. But okay, this is such a beautiful, delicate, feminine floral fragrance. Like, this smells like a watery pineapple mixed with a bright, clean, feminine jasmine and some musky nuances in the base. It's so beautiful, so easy to enjoy, such a versatile fragrance, such a day-to-day soft feminine fragrance. I mean, not soft necessarily in terms of scent, like how the scent performs, but soft in terms of like the vibe it gives you, like a soft woman, you know, like a warm soft woman. Yeah, very beautiful. Now the only downside is, depending on where you live, this might be very expensive, but if you find it for a good price, if you live somewhere in the Middle East, or if you live where you have access to Junaid stores, this one is such a beautiful one to check out. Okay, so speaking of floral fragrances, I have three recommendations next for you. These are all within the same scent family as L'Interdit by Givenchy. If you enjoy white florals, if you enjoy jasmine, and if you enjoy tuberose, these are for you. Okay, so let me start with the one that's the most popular, which is Fakhar for Women by Latafa. I would say this is the airiest out of these three. Yeah, this will, like, when I smell it, it automatically makes me think of L'Interdit by Givenchy. It's softer indeed, it's not a beast mode, but it's a very well done fragrance, smells very beautiful, smells much more luxurious than its price. Like, you have the jasmine, you have the specific tuberose smell, you have some creamy vanilla here that I feel like the creamy vanilla in this one makes it more user-friendly for younger people as well. It's not just a mature fragrance. And you have like a little bit of patchouli just to keep the overall composition slightly more grounded and to not make it ultra light, bright and airy. But this is such a beautiful fragrance, so easy to enjoy. This could be your wedding scent. The next one within the same scent family is called Signature Night by Rave. Rave is another brand under Latafa, guys. Yeah, this one to my nose, guys, compared to Fakhar for women, has some like citrusy aspect as well. And this one is a little bit stronger and overall way more denser, like slightly more robust than Fakhar. Both are beautiful, but it depends which one you can find. I know this one you can pretty much find it everywhere. When it comes to this one, I don't really know. Both are beautiful. So yes, the last fragrance within the same scent profile as L'Entrée by Givenchy. It's called Are You Serious by Afnan. Now I only have a sample of this one as well. This I would say is the most serious, most cold out of all these three. Let's just say that if the first two were like more approachable, more friendly, this one no, this one is cold. This one, it's on a woman who she doesn't want to be approached, you know, she just wants to be smelled, but like from distance. Yeah, this is such a beautiful fragrance. To me, this is such a statement white floral sort of fragrance. It's so rich. Here you have a rich bouquet of white florals, guys, but they are so strong compared to the previous two, especially the jasmine. The jasmine in this one, I feel like is the star of the show, of course, with the tuberose close to it because it's the same scent family as L'Entrée. But here what you have, I mean, I don't know, for some I feel like this might sound weird, but to me this smells like a bouquet of rich white florals with jasmine and tuberose, and in the background you have the smell of a cold concrete wall. So it's somewhat grounding, like grounding and relaxing, but not dark, but it has some depth to it as well. It's a very beautiful fragrance. I feel like if you want something that's more serious than Fakhar, also that's better performing than Fakhar, but still within the same scent family, check out this one. I don't think you will be disappointed. But for me, this is more of a non-approachable sort of fragrance. It's not that like warm, inviting sort of fragrance. It's the sort of fragrance that you put on like when you don't want people to come close to you, you know. Okay, so this next fragrance is again by the house of Ahmed El Maghribi. This fragrance is called Lean, guys, and this is basically, to my nose, a stronger, richer, fuller and more dense version of Lacoste Pour Femme by Lacoste. It's a very hard to describe fragrance. I mean, here basically it says it has in the top red fruits, in the heart roses, lily of the valley, in the base sandalwood and musk. It's more of an abstract fragrance. It's slightly powdery, but with something creamy in the base. It's very dense. It has like an ambery feel as well, but not the resiny sort of ambery feel, more like the density of an ambery accord. It's slightly floral, slightly sweet, but not too sweet. It has like a muted sort of sweetness. I would say it's a very balanced fragrance overall. It's very easy to enjoy. Like, I feel like there's legit no... It's like, it's almost impossible not to enjoy a fragrance like this because it's such a safe fragrance in a way, but this is very strong, guys. This fragrance is very strong. You would be tempted to think that because of the note, you know, because it's supposed to be this softer fragrance, it's more of an intimate fragrance, but the performance for this fragrance is amazing. It's crazy how long it lasts on clothes. It's such an oily fragrance, just like with a lot of fragrances from Ahmed El Maghribi in general. They are so oily, guys. They like, you don't need a lot of sprays, like you genuinely don't need a lot of sprays, and be careful if you buy them and you have lighter clothes because they will stain your clothes. So let's move on to the next fragrance. Now this is a fragrance that took me by complete surprise. This was a recommendation, either a recommendation, either a request from some of you, I don't remember exactly, but this one is by Afnan and this one is called Souvenir Floral Bouquet. Guys, this is such a gorgeous fragrance. Like, this is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful feminine fragrance. This is a floral fragrance, but it's so different to all the other floral fragrances that I have mentioned so far. It's like, no, this is supposed to be an inspiration of Delina by Parfum du Marly. I have not tried Delina, I have not tried any dupes of Delina besides this one, but this one smells amazing, guys. This is such, like, if you love feminine fragrances, if you love fragrances that stand out from the crowd but that embody the essence of a feminine woman, you will love this fragrance. Guys, it smells exactly like you were to walk into the most beautiful, luxurious flower shop. So you get some soft nuances of all these like different flowers, you know. And then let's just say, as you are walking towards your florist, she's preparing a bouquet, like a really beautiful big bouquet of bright pink roses that are like slightly sweet, but they have that like natural sweetness of a bright pink rose mixed with peony. So you also have like the delicate soft angelic touch of peony, and then you get to her right when she's cutting like the flower stems, so you get that like raw green smell from the stem, you know, that specific smell of flower stem that's very relaxing. You have all this with some like powdery nuances in the background and some musky nuances. It's gorgeous, guys. It's such a, It's a gorgeous fragrance. I am not the biggest floral lover in general, but this fragrance, I have to say, I really like it. I really like it. Oh, and by the way, no, I think actually after this video I will post the review I have for this one, because I filmed the review for this one already. Okay, so speaking of beautiful floral fragrances, I have other 3 recommendations for you. Let's start with the fragrance that I have mentioned in one of my newest videos, sorry. This one is by Afnan again, and it is called La Fleur Bouquet. Now guys, to my knowledge, I don't know if this is a dupe of anything. At least if it is, I have not smelled the fragrance that it's supposed to dupe. But this one on its own, oh my gosh, speaking of like effortless sophisticated fragrances, this is like the queen of that. Like it smells so beautiful. It smells like peach iced tea with some like soft, crisp and cold jasmine. The jasmine is very strong in this one. It's like such a simplistic fragrance in a way, but it manages to be so sophisticated at the same time. I feel like the beauty of this fragrance is in its simplicity, honestly. It's like, honestly, I don't think you can go wrong with this fragrance. I'm being very honest now, I don't think you can go wrong. Again, the bottle is absolutely beautiful. I had Violet Bouquet in my collection, which has a very similar bottle, so I can tell you the bottle is luxurious, the presentation is luxurious. Afnan in general does amazing fragrances. I feel like if you enjoy, imagine like the closest one I could say it reminds me of a little bit is Voce Viva by Valentino. If you have tried that fragrance, but I would say it's more sophisticated than that. Yeah, much more sophisticated than that. Feminine, effortless and sophisticated. This is the vibe that it gives me, and elegant at the same time. But it's such an easy to wear fragrance. Like I feel like you don't have to think twice about reaching for this one. Okay, so let's move on to some like beautiful sweet gourmand vanillas. Now, I have 2 recommendations for you if you're looking for something similar to Poison Girl by Dior. Poison Girl by Dior, I feel like it's a very like sexy, sensual, feminine sort of fragrance, but a little bit naughty at the same time, you know. And I have recommended you a while ago a beautiful fragrance called Eternia Woman by Armaf. I still 100% recommend you that fragrance. It's an amazing dupe. Imagine the same scent of Poison Girl, but stronger, but in a more artificial way. It has an overall artificial synthetic vibe in the opening, but I feel like as you are wearing it, it gets better. But just so you know, it does have an artificial vibe. But that one is such a gorgeous, guys, like bitter orange with like a rich, full-bodied vanilla with some like almondy, nutty nuances. It's amazing. It's sweet. It's very cozy. It's very warm. It has some powdery hints as well. Now, I know that at least where I live you cannot find that fragrance. I feel like I can only see it on one website, so I'm guessing it's getting discontinued, or it might have gotten discontinued, I'm not sure, but I have found a replacement. Now this one is from Ajmal, guys, and this one is called Evoke Silver Edition for her. This smells very similar to Poison Girl and to Eternia Woman, but I would say compared to Eternia Woman, it's slightly more simplistic. It doesn't have a lot of complex nuances like Eternia Woman has. It's slightly less nutty, less bitter. The bitter orange aspect is not as amplified here. I would say it's more muted, it's more toned down, but it's not as artificial. But I would say, as a reference, if you love how Poison Girl smells like, if you like how Eternia Woman smells like, you will love this fragrance for sure. It's very similar vibes, honestly. Okay, so let's move on now to some recommendations if you're looking for fragrances similar to Good Girl by Carolina Herrera. Good Girl, the OG version, not the flankers. I have, okay, so I haven't counted them, but I think I have 4 recommendations for you. Let's start with the first one, which is called Bint Horan. That one I would say, again, has the DNA of Good Girl, ultra similar. Perhaps it's slightly more green compared to the other recommendations that I have for you, but if you enjoy Good Girl, you will enjoy that one. That fragrance is by Ardel Zafaran. Again, an amazing fragrance. Performance is not the best. I feel like with Ardel Zafaran fragrances, at least the longevity on the skin is not the best, but if you spray them on clothes, or if you reapply them throughout the day, I don't think you will have an issue. And again, guys, when it comes to such affordable fragrances, performance is not everything, you know. Now, next recommendation that I have for you, which is my personal favorite, is called Rawa by Al Haramain, which is an amazing fragrance. I would say slightly more sweeter than Good Girl. I would say it has an overall more like richer, denser, fuller vibe to Good Girl, but it's a gorgeous fragrance, guys. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. It's like sexy, it's like not even, you know, it's the kind of fragrance that you would wear like to clubbing, on date night. Yeah, that one to my nose is very similar to Good Girl, but it has something added to it. So imagine, like, some people say it's like a mixture of Good Girl with black opium. I could see why. It's definitely Good Girl with something added to it, like more sweet, more rich, more full, more dense, you know, more not even. I feel like it's a very beautiful fragrance. Now, another recommendation that I have for you, it's from Ajmal as well. It's called Sonnet. And now that fragrance, I had it in my collection, but I gave it away to a good friend of mine who loves Good Girl. And let me tell you, she loved that fragrance. Now, I know some people say that they don't find it similar to Good Girl. Personally, I do. And let me explain you why. If you don't like Good Girl and you get that fragrance, you will not like it because it has a very strong resemblance to Good Girl, especially in the opening. Now, when I put Good Girl on one hand, Sonnet on the other hand, of course there were differences. It's not like a one-on-one dupe, but I would say it's an inspiration. And in the opening, up until the heart, is very similar to Good Girl. Dry Down was in a different direction. But again, that's a very beautiful fragrance. I will insert the note somewhere over here. That one is supposed to have some almondy, creamy nuances. But yeah. To my nose, guys, it's very similar to Good Girl. And to the person I gave it to, again, she said it smells like her Good Girl. So I don't know. Guys, I struggled because I couldn't find the last fragrance that was similar to Good Girl. Now the last fragrance is by Latafa. Which is in the same vibe with Good Girl, and it is called Kima. Now this one, guys, I would say, like, if you were to look up the notes of this one has lavender, it has black pepper, and it has some like aromatic notes listed. You would not think that it's supposed to be an inspiration of Good Girl, but it is. But I would say it's the more abstract, artificial smelling Good Girl, but it's a beautiful fragrance on its own. Yeah, guys, Good Girl for sure. You have the tuberose here, you have the jasmine, you have some greenness here, but I would say try to picture this fragrance as the more artificial version, as the more like slightly synthetic leaning version, but it's a beautiful fragrance nonetheless. I don't think it's not artificial to the point of being bothering. It's just not as, let's just say, it's harder to differentiate what you're smelling here, or it's like harder to tell like which note you're smelling, which is what, you know. But it's a beautiful fragrance. The bottle is actually very beautiful as well. And it's very affordable. So again, if you're looking for something that's similar to Good Girl for day-to-day basis, check out this one. I feel like from all these fragrances within the same vibe as Good Girl, the one that's the most challenging, at least to me, was Sonnet for sure, because it had a slight indolic aspect to it. I don't know if I was the only one that was picking it. My friend, the friend whom I gave the bottle to, hasn't said anything about that aspect, but when I was wearing it myself, I did get a slight indolic feel from the tuberose there, or from something. I don't know what that fragrance had, but it has a slight indolic feel. I would say the most easiest to enjoy, at least for me, was for sure Rawa, and then Kima, and then Bin Horan. Again, that one has something, that one has a very rich floral touch to it, so I feel like you need to appreciate the floral aspect of Good Girl to appreciate that fragrance. But yeah. Now guys, enough about Good Girl, let's move on to the next fragrances. I was telling you about some floral recommendations, and then I just like completely took it a different way. Now the next floral recommendation that I have for you is called Mazaji. It is by Latafa. This is such a gorgeous fragrance. I feel like if you enjoy La Fleur Bouquet by Afnan, you will enjoy this one. But this one is more, this one has more things added to it, I would say. Here you have, guys, like sweet citruses that have a soft, sparkling, effervescent vibe to them, with some white florals and with some rich vanilla ambery base. Again, this is a very full and dense fragrance, but it's quite simplistic in a way. It's not that like very complex, hard to understand fragrance. It's a very elegant, timeless, classy fragrance, even very easy to enjoy. You could wear it for work. Yeah, and ultra feminine, guys. Again, like when you want to feel like ultra feminine, you know, but like still classy and elegant, I feel like this is the fragrance. Beautiful fragrance. And the last one, the last floral fragrance that I want to recommend you, it's called Andalib, and this one is by Asdaf, or like by Latafa, because again, Latafa has a lot of sub-brands, guys. This one is a caramel mixed with jasmine and some soft patchouli nuances. The patchouli nuances, I would say, are more pronounced as you get to the dry down than in the opening. In the opening it smells like toasted caramel with a rich jasmine bouquet. Very beautiful. It's sweet but not overly sweet, it's like moderate sweet. And the bottle again for this one is gorgeous. When you are buying such affordable fragrances, I feel like it's always a bonus when the bottle is very beautiful, you know, and it gives you an overall experience. Yeah, this one I wouldn't say it's a very mature fragrance, but you need to appreciate white florals. Because unless you appreciate white florals, I don't think you would really enjoy this fragrance. But again, on its own, it's a gorgeous fragrance, guys. It's the kind of fragrance that, like, it's a fragrance when you want to feel feminine, you know. Some are when you want to feel like more girly, some more playful, some more serious, but these ones are when you want to feel feminine, classy and timeless. I feel like you would really enjoy these ones. Okay, so for the last two, I have some musk-based fragrances for you. I don't know what I did with the samples. I was just like looking for them, but I couldn't find them. I have two recommendations here. I have Musk Mood by Lattafa, which is a beautiful laundry detergent sort of musk. It makes you feel very clean. It makes you feel very like put together but clean. You just like took a shower, you know, you're like wearing your clean clothes, like freshly washed laundry, that sort of vibe. It smells like you were to mix the smell of baby powder with baby wipes and with something that smells like a soft powdery lemon that's still like sweet. This is how Musk Mood smells to my nose. I have no issues with that one. It doesn't have any artificial undertones. It's not very heavy on alcohol as well, so it's not like you're getting an alcohol blast in your face. I feel like overall it's a very beautiful fragrance to enjoy. If you enjoy, like I've said, in general, fragrances that give you this like clean clothes, clean, everything clean sort of vibe, but not the crisp clean. Now, if you're looking for something crisp clean, like that specific smell of like crisp clean white mask, then I would recommend you to look up Supreme by Ahmed El Maghribi again. Guys, Ahmed El Maghribi has amazing fragrances. Like, I will be just very honest, try out that brand. I'm sure no matter what your taste is, you can find something that you like there. Now, Supreme, guys, it's a very heavy fragrance. Not a very complex one, quite simplistic in the notes, but it's a very strong fragrance. You have here, you need to love musk, but the kind of musk that's like cold, crisp and almost like oily smelling. And you need to appreciate like a bright rose as well. That fragrance has no sweetness, or like just a little bit, like the kind of floral sort of sweetness, you know, not a gourmand sort of sweetness. But if you like floral fragrances, if you like a very strong, crisp, clean sort of musk, you will love that fragrance. And again, that one, guys, lasts for an eternity. I swear, like, it's such an oily fragrance. If it gets in your hair, if it gets on your clothes, I feel like you'll have to wash the clothes to get the smell out of it, you know. So yes, guys, those are my recommendations for you. I tried to keep the video relatively short and sweet. Let me know if you would like me to do a part 2, because there are a lot of other fragrances that I have tried that are amazing, and they are by Middle Eastern brands. They're very affordable, but they don't smell Middle Eastern at all. So yeah, if you want me to do a part 2, let me know and I will for sure do it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you for the video requests. I always take notes. Sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to do them, but I always take notes. And I love your video ideas. So if you have any video ideas, please put them down below and I would be more than happy to do them in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. I love the community we have here, honestly, and I love chatting with you about fragrances and about everything in general. So yes, if you want to tell me anything, please put it down below and I promise that I will get back to you. Don't forget you can follow me on Instagram. This is my handle. So yes, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I want to wish you an amazing day wherever you are. Bye.